Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today gonna do a little something different, a little mystery box. So when I started uploading videos to YouTube about a month ago, I spent a few days before that putting all these shelves together. There's 9 in total altogether throughout my apartment here. And the other day, I found a box in the closet digging for something else full of books. So I thought, I went to grab it. I thought, no, I'll drag it out here, and I'm gonna see what's in it on the fly and see what I can't find out about them. See if I can remember what the hell's in here and anything about them at all. So there's a big hole in the top. So I already knew one that was sticking out here. This is Michael Kraton, Lost World, a sequel novel to Jurassic Park. So I guess the thing right off the top is it's only vaguely like the movie. Everybody liked the first Jurassic Park movie. Second Jurassic Park movie, no, bad movie. But this is a really excellent book. There is let's see, how does this go? So I think it's Malcolm who is befriended by this really rich, I don't know if he's actually a paleontologist, but he's definitely a big dinosaur fan expert, and he wants to go learn about dinosaurs. And he winds up going to the island by himself. And when Ian finds out there may be a problem, he gathers up a whole team of people and goes and tries to rescue this guy. Like the movie, there's a couple, I think there's an RV or a couple of RVs that are loaded out so they're not just walking around. There's a rival team trying to get dinosaur eggs, and when they find the rich guy, he doesn't want to be rescued. He's having a time of his life observing dinosaurs, and that's the gist of this right here. Unlike the movie, they don't take a T-Rex back to the mainland and one gets loose and you got a monster movie out of it. But yeah, there's of course some dinosaur killing people type stuff in that book. That's really good. Michael Kraton, though. So this is a pretty good example of, because I don't know that he hated science and scientists, but he was a full-on Luddite. He didn't like the way scientists did anything. There's the one that stands out is, well, he's a big climate change denier. There's the Drake equation, which is something a lot of futurists and astronomers use to lay a groundwork to talk about potentially discovering life somewhere else, and he completely dismissed the idea that it's supposed to have some results, and I don't think he understood that it was just a guideline, like an outline, so we can kind of have something to talk about. But a lot of his books are a big warning about scientists doing anything and playing God. So, but best-selling author, he does write really well. Good gracious. Oh. So, yeah, I used to be a He-Man person, and so all these books fell out of here. So you got, these came with the action figures, and these are just the comic book stories that came with them. I think there is a collected, like a collector's edition that gets all these comic books. There's all the toys and action figures you could get at the time. I got all these for like Christmas, and probably a birthday or two or something, and I think I was getting a little older and I wanted to sell them, so a relative took them to work and sold what should have been about $100 worth of stuff for all $5, so I lost a whole bunch of He-Man stuff for very little. But it wasn't my money, so who cares? The Man Who Awoke by Lawrence Manning. Yeah, I think this is, he kept going to sleep, so this is a little bit surreal. He kept going to sleep and waking up 5,000 AD, 10,000, 15, 20, 25,000. And I don't remember what his specific goal was. He just experienced the future, and I honestly don't remember the ending to it. It was a fun book, though. I remember I liked this quite a bit. But this is some old science fiction right there. When did this come out? When did this come out? Copyright 1933. that right? Did I read that right? 1933? Slightly different. Oh, okay. So a slightly different version of this was in 1933, but this version is 1975. Okay, so there we go with that. Oh, this is okay. So here's a big old did not finish Wizard War. This was a lengthy book of 3 guys who are on a quest together, but they're against each other, and I just could not get into that one. I remember that one. Oh man, some of these are gonna be all mixed up, aren't they? Well, because so we got Larry Niven and Jerry Pournelle, The Gripping Hand. This is actually starts with the mote in God's eye. So you got some contact with aliens that well, like any, just kind of go awry. They're nothing like us, and they can build and build and build, and they become actually quite dangerous. So this is a series outside of their norms anyway. If there's one thing Larry Niven's good at, it's friggin' aliens. Oh, what is this? Book 1203. I don't see a 3. So this is in Dungeons and Dragons: The Forgotten Realms, the Avatar trilogy. So what happened there, Shadowdale and Tantra? So what happened here was there was an overseer of the pantheon, and he decided that the gods were a little too full of themselves, and he dropped them all out of their respective heavens and put them into mortal bodies. One of them, she was the goddess of magic, and I think she immediately tried to get back up, and she was cast down and destroyed. And basically, there are some human beings who may be picked to take over the roles. That's what that was about. But there is a 3rd book. There's only 2 there. What the heck is this? Okay, so one of my favorite things, AD&D. Here we go, some role-playing game, Midnight on Dagger Alley. And what this was, I don't know if I still have all the stuff in here. So you see, so this is actually a map, but you can't really see it. Maybe you can see some of the black markings on there. It had a viewfinder, this red thing, and when you held it up over here, you could actually see a whole city map under here, and you adventured through it. It's actually a solo adventure. You do this yourself, and it had some little pre-made characters there that you use for the game. Midnight on Dagger Alley. Put that over there. Oh God, what is all this mess? Crown of Fire. Oh, so by Ed Greenwood, creator of Forgotten Realms. So if this is now she's on. Okay, so what they have in Forgotten Realms is a special magic ability called Spellfire, and you get infected with it, and you can absorb magic that shot at you. You can unleash these powerful blasts of magical energy. I won't say you're invulnerable, but you are extremely powerful, because all the tricks that wizards have, they pointed at you, and they can't do anything to you. And then you can burn them to ashes. Little tricks you can learn along the way were healing people, fly for a bit, force field, that kind of thing, energy manipulation in general. The only thing was, I seem to recall this not being that spectacular a read for me, and there's these characters are called the Chosen of Mistra. She's the goddess of magic, and she has certain beings she just, I guess, loves more so than others, and they get special powers. One of them is Storm Silverhand, and he likes to get her naked a lot. If it's not in this book, it's in another one where her and this wizard, they're just out there adventuring together. They hit camp, and she's just take my clothes off and just lay here under the moon. And I don't know if I have it in here, but there's a book starring her where her personality is wonderful as a character, but she's like naked every other chapter. A stripper for the realms, I guess. Oh, what do we got here? What do we got here? A Dragonlance novel, which I do not remember at all. Not even gonna bother. Oh, what's this? Okay, I don't want to take too much time just trying to flip through in general. Well, this explains something. Let me get something. So, when I was redoing all my books, this one I had sitting there, True Night Falls, C.S. Friedman. This is a sequel to Black Sun Rising, and I wondered why I had this by itself, because I had the other book somewhere. I don't know what to do with it, and here it says Black Sun Rising. I only ever read this first book. I remember the beginning and the end. I'm having trouble with the details and through the middle. One interesting thing about the book, there's this, let's see, he's an investigator, I think. So for the kingdom, he's some kind of law enforcement guy, he's a swordsman, and everybody thought that's him on the cover, and it's not. It's actually this character in the beginning of the book who, if I'm remembering this right, did a sacrifice of the life of his wife to get more magic power, and that's him on the cover there. So I might just keep these out, because I might give them another read there. What in the world do we got here that I could possibly look at and have something to say about it? I wonder if I've never read some of these actually, and just so here's something popular amongst sci-fi fans, I think. Keith Laumer, Bolos. Get a nice close-up of that. So that is I don't know if he coined the term cyber tank. That is obviously a very large war machine that is itself artificially intelligent. And this is far in the future. And some of these Bolos, there's a variety of versions, even get to the point of what they call the Continental Siege Weapon. And it was a good grief, like a mile-long tank that can knock things out of orbit, I would assume. Maybe more. There's another one. There's another Bolo book. The Annals of another Bolo book there. So this didn't come out of the box. GURPS, generic universal role-playing system. Ogre. This is all about cyber tanks, but maybe a little more easy to devour, so you don't get necessarily over the top hyper tanks. They are artificially intelligent. They are nuclear powered. They carry nuclear weapons. I'm looking for a classic picture, which I cannot find, and I'm not going to waste a lot of time. Well, there it is. So you can actually get this on a t-shirt. That is a Ogre cyber tank schematic. That's about something over 100 feet long and about 1,000 tons of artificially intelligent war machine there. But this was inspired by these. Oh boy. So I got a Conan book here, but this one's by Steve Perry, who otherwise is a good author. A lot of the Conan books outside of Robert Howard I gave a try, and I didn't particularly care for them. But Steve Perry himself has this great series, which I have, and maybe I'll get into one day on camera here, called the Matador series, which can be described as science fiction martial arts, starting with The Man Who Never Missed, the 97 Steps, that kind of thing. Looks like I grabbed up a short story collection. Gamer Fantastic, so I'm assuming that's virtual reality short stories here. And there is, I don't remember a thing. Not one of these pops out in my memory here. Oh, here we go. Here we go, kids. Do I got the first one? Aha! There we go, there we go. Here we go. Ted Williams. Ted Williams, Otherland, Volume 1. These are 4 very big books, all in one series there. So, God, where to start with this? Look at the size of these books. Okay, so this one's almost 800 pages, and all 4 of them are like that, right? 400 big books. And I think there was only one section in all 4 of these books that I thought was particularly slow. This is a group of very rich people who want to potentially upload their consciousness, their minds to a virtual reality. The only problem they find out is you can't really upload, you're just making a copy, but the copy's artificially intelligent and it's fully sentient. I believe, the protagonist is in search of a relative who may be lost in these worlds, and it's a variety of virtual worlds they have to adventure through. This is not only an excellent series, it spawned an online role-playing game which never got completely finished. It doesn't really follow the storyline here. It's a beautiful looking game, and this one guy went through, and it was like somebody salvaging a lost ship or something. He documented it. It's online. You can watch it on YouTube under Otherland MMO, and it looked like a labor of love as he went through, having to deal with bugs and these strange loops where he could only get so far, and it put him back, and he had to keep repeating and trying to find a way out of the mess he got himself into. Interviewed some of the game makers. The game itself, you could have played it while he was going through it, but you can't play it anymore. They removed it, but his documentation of it is still online. And that was something I watched on vacation. It was really fun to watch somebody play through that right there. Otherland, Ted Williams. This is a wonderful author, and he wrote. I got him on the shelves over there. He wrote. It's a series called Bobby Dollar, and in that there's it's Judeo-Christian for real, and when someone dies, angels and demons show up to play lawyer, and so one side's trying to get you to heaven, the other side's trying to take you to hell, and in it he falls in love with some demon woman who is taken off to hell, and the second book in the series, he goes off after her. He has to give up all his powers and goes to hell to get her out of there. And I could not put that book down. I had to know what was going to happen next. This is a great writer, Ted Williams. I'm glad I still had those laying around. Those are going to get put on the shelf there. I wondered what happened, because I did a video where hold on a second, let me get it. There it is. I recommended some Great Unknowns, and this was one of them by Carol Berg, Song of the Beast. So here's one other series. I could have swore there was a 4th one. Is there something hiding? I don't see one hiding just now. I don't know if this is I think this is the first book. Book 1, Song of Avonar by Carol Berg, and this is actually a 4-book series. This is one of, you talk about a world builder and character. If you like world building, if you like magic systems, if you like great character, you have to read Carol Berg. These are excellent books. I need to come up with some other word other than wonderful to describe the books I love, and here's a bunch of them right here by Carol Berg. What's in? That's the other Avatar book. So there's 3 of those. That was the first one right there. There's the famous Elminster Wizard from Forgotten Realms right there. Neil Stevenson. Seven Eves. So the basis for this is that the moon broke up. I can't remember if something hit it or what was done to it, but it completely broke up. And all that debris would eventually come down to the earth, rain down upon the world, and annihilate everything on the planet. And so a mission is set up to get, rescue people as many as you can. I believe it was, they wanted to get DNA samples from people and get them off the earth. There was no way to save the earth, and it's 7 women, 7 Eves who get up there. It's good cover to cover. I don't think I like the last act of the book anywhere near as much as the first. This is a good hard science fiction writing right there. And Neil Stephenson there, he is the author of Snow Crash, one of my favorite books right there. Neil Stephenson. I got some Anne Rice. Is that what I got? Did I even read these? Anne Rice, Christ the Lord out of Egypt, and Merrick. I think Merrick is the sire of one of the primary vampire characters. I can't remember which one. Was it Lestat himself or Armand? And but I don't think I ever got around to reading these, but they're in the box. So. Well, where's the... So, Gordon R. Dixon, the Dragon Knight, and this is about a fellow who finds himself in a fantasy world, but when he's in that world, he's not a human being, he's a dragon. I don't recall that the dragons in these books breathe fire, and I think that was one thing I just, why can't they breathe fire? I like fire-breathing dragons and everything. I think... as I recall, I got a little bored after the first book, so this is the second. I don't see the first one sitting here, but oh, this is more of a, so this would be the first book then of that Spellfire one I mentioned in there. That would be the lady at the middle of all this who finds out she is a wielder of Spellfire. Oh, there's a third one. Crown of Shadows, the stunning conclusion to the Cold Fire series. And that's, so I got all 3 of these. I'm probably going to give these a go again. I love this cover. Look at this. This is oh, I can't remember his name. Damn it. Oh, old man brain farting. Michael Whelan. Yeah, Michael Whelan. And just because of that right there, I might have to go through all my books and do a video on best and favorite book covers, because that is cool as hell. Alrighty. Not much left here. As I got into cyberpunk, this one came up, Islands in the Net by Bruce Sterling. Unfortunately, I got a little bored with that one. Here's an old R.A. Salvatore. This is another Dritz Forgotten Realms book there. What do we got? There's something I must have never read. Superman versus Medusa. All right. Not good. So this is the final book in the Gap series by Stephen R. Donaldson. I enjoyed the series. Eventually, though, he has a whole other series of books that I'm going to do what's probably going to be a very long-winded video and talk about a rather difficult topic to go with it, but I'll get to that eventually. I think I'm just about done here. Oh, I started reading this and I got past my usual 100-page, decides whether I'm going to read it or not. by the time I got to 200, I just wasn't interested anymore. I don't know what it was. I can't even say that it got boring. I just lost interest, and oh well, I'm not gonna force myself to read anything. I'm getting too old to finish books I'm not really into. This one I just started. This is a new book, The Sword Defiant, Gareth Hanrahan. This is a retired adventurer. You get a lot of classic D&D classes mentioned. There's a wizard, there's a cleric, there's a fighter, which is who we're seeing as the viewpoint character when it starts, and they're retired. Some of them have become rulers. Some of them, apparently, if the blurb is right, is going to be, some of these people are going to be evil. The fighter, he's not stupid, but he's not exactly little Mr. Intellectual. And the sword he carries is some kind of high-powered, demonic, evil weapon that he has to deal with, and he's keeping guard over right now. I'm not that far into it, but so far this is really good. And I had taken a little break from One Piece for about a week because I had too much to read, and I still have to work a full-time job, so I kind of shoved this to the side and finished off another book, The Bloodstones by Tori Tekken, which I really love. And this is going to be a regular thing for so long, 1999. I got so much catching up to do, but eventually, just to save myself some money, instead of getting these on the omnibus, it would cost me like, I don't know, like $600 or $700 to get all of them and be caught up. I'm not going to do it. So eventually, you can go online to Viz Media, and you'll have to pay a monthly subscription. But not only do you get this to read online, but you can get, they got all kinds of manga, and you can read it all for just I think it's like a couple bucks a month, if I'm not mistaken. So for $24, I get all of this plus any manga I want to read, and I think that's just a little. I'm not an person. I'm not a Luddite like Michael Crichton, but I don't. I'm not into electronic books. Anything. I want the books. I like just books. That's an old one too. Smells good. Old books smell so good. I want the physical books in my hand and on me. And that's that. You're going to drag me kicking and screaming and fighting and biting away from a physical book world. And that's just all there is to that. Some of these I think are going to go back in the box, and some of them are going on the shelf. And some of these are going to get reread eventually. I have 26 or 7 books sitting in a to-be-read pile over here, so we'll see. Better have more books than you need than not enough. And that's going to be it for me for today. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Please like and subscribe. Bye-bye now.